Good evening and very warm welcome to viewers of 10 News Network. I'm completely in honor, in awe, and feeling really happy to introduce and to welcome Dr. R.K. Tuli, who needs no introduction, who is a global pioneer of holistic medicine and chief physician of Soham. Although it's just the tip of iceberg, if I need to really introduce the gentleman, I think the list of his achievement is so long, one needs completely one show to have its complete introduction. So I think I will, without wasting more time, I will welcome Dr. Tuli first on our show, and I will let him, introduce us with his long list of achievements. Dr. Tuli, a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Shwetaji. It's indeed my honor to be participating in this show along with you. And here I am to face the bombardment of all your questions. And I'm sure to go a long
Absolutely
way.
not.
It'll go a long way in helping the cause of health of the people.
Absolutely. I think it's the need of it has always been actually the requirement to understand what is the holistic way of living, and who better than you can enlighten our viewers on that. So, if you can tell us what is holistic way of life?
See, there is a Vedic saying, Dharmartha Kama Moksham Shariram Mulam Uttamam. That is, whatever you wish to achieve in life, you need health. And is also said, health is the greatest wealth. So, when we invest in this health, that is taking care of our health, that is the first need. It's like, okay, I need health to grow up. I need health for my physical wellness. I need health for my mental wellness. I need health when I am a student. I want to acquire education. Then, whether my professional success, financial success, my success in life, matrimonial success, and I would say all the way, even for the last journey of my life, if I go in health, it will be much better. So it becomes my most onerous duty to take care of my health so that not only when I am healthy, I am productive to myself, to my family, to my society, and to my country as a whole. And at the same time, I save others the botheration. If I fall sick, I see some elderly people as they fall sick, the three generations of the family suffer. So, keeping all that in mind, one must take care of one's health, because what I am is what my health is. So, I must take care of my health. Now, the health does not come from any one particular aspect of life. So let me explain the word first, holistic. It is being used, I would say, rather loosely these days. Now, the holistic word conveys wholesomeness. Am I right? Okay. So
Absolutely correct.
it conveys wholesomeness, right? But in this wholesome, the W disappears. Now, what it becomes? Holy. So, holy means, as a human being, I am on a physical journey, but I am a spiritual being. As a matter of fact, as they say, human being is a spiritual being on a physical journey. So at the core, I am the spirit. As our Ayurvedic understanding, that human being is a combination of the soul, which is the core, which is the factor of life, and body, senses, and the mind. So, holy means taking care of the Holy Spirit. The spirit in the human being may be called the Atma or the Antaratma or the Jivatma, which is an extension of the universal Atma, which is called Paramatma. Param means infinite, and Antar means what is limited and what is me. Now, to get this harmony, since I derive life from the universe, Universe is infinite. Universe knows all. They say it is divine. Divine because it's there all the time. It is trying to nourish us all the time. It is called divine because it is, as they say, omnipresent. It's there all the time. It is omnipotent. It is infinitely powerful, and it is omniscient. It knows all our needs far more and beyond that even we know ourselves. So the human being has to be in this awareness that I am a part of this creation, and this creation, uh, if I remain in contact with this Antaratma, with the Paramatma, I get the highest. Because when in lower energy, I am at the most a drop in the ocean. Now, if the drop merges into the ocean, it it becomes the ocean itself. It imbibes the whole power of the ocean. So if I remain in that awareness, I will certainly be much better off, and I'll be able to carry out my journey of life much better. So at the core, again
Wow.
coming to your question, I am not the body, and they say this body is perishable, but the Atma or that energy is imperishable, and it my life starts with that invisible energy. This energy is like nature's intelligence. Today we are talking of artificial intelligence. This is nature's intelligence. This is infinite intelligence. As we say, it is pure, unconditional, infinite, and it knows much more about me. Where I will be 5 years from now, I do not know. But there is a plan. Of course, I can spoil that plan or I can improve that plan. That is my dharma. That is my duty towards myself. And when I look after myself, as I said, I look after my family and the nation. And these days they say I'm a global citizen. So,
Wow.
so to unfortunately today the human being understands itself as just a mere physical body. The medical science, treats the human being as a body, and that too, there is a specialist to every part of the body. Every specialist takes care of a part of the body, but nobody takes care of the human being, human being as a whole. So
As a
first,
whole,
that
as an entire.
as a whole, so that is the meaning of the word holistic. Okay, so holistic well-being. So I am not only physical well, I am in a state of mental peace, equanimity, harmony, or what you may call, and I have a control over my senses. I don't get, you know, my senses can become my weakness, as they say.
Hmm.
So I must have a control over my senses, and that will guide my spirit along the way so that I'm able to achieve the mission of my life. And that is, of course, to help the society, to help the humanity
Wow.
at large. So this is
That's really nice of you.
yeah, this is the meaning as I convey or understand of what is holistic well.
Yeah. So thank you very much for giving us these pearls of wisdom. I must say this is going to be very informative and very interactive session. I can already see this, and our viewers are going to really, really benefit a lot from this session today. So, if you can now, tell us how we can adopt this way of life. Is it possible?
See, it's very simple. What is called lifestyle, you know, means
Gee, absolutely.
how I live my life, how I design my life. I am responsible for my life. If anything goes wrong with my life, I am responsible for it. So for that, I have to prepare myself in advance. It's like, okay, I'm starting on the journey of life, as they say, the sanskaras. Okay,
Right.
I inherit from my ancestors. And well, today what I am doing is not because of me, but I would say, because of my sanskaras. What ingraining I got uh, through my ancestors and through my medical education, that today I consider that my primary job is to not take care of myself. If I have to take care of others, I first myself be healthy. So this is the lifestyle. And I may say in brief, what we need to follow is a yogic lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Today at this stage, though we will deal with it later, that all the diseases are being called lifestyle disorders. Why I
True.
become sick? Because I disturb my lifestyle. So if I must have a plan, I must have a understanding and live the life according to that. Now, if you want me to describe it a little more, may I go ahead?
I would like to, yes, that would be really wonderful. And I would also like to know what are the benefits, what now that the viewers are watching and they're listening to you, now that they know the way that how they can adopt it, what are the benefits
Yes.
for them to, if they adopt this way of life, how can they benefit out of this?
So, see, this is I describe how good your tomorrow is going to be. You have to plan it today. Do you agree? Okay.
Absolutely agree.
So, and that means my tomorrow starts at what time I go to bed today. Okay. So,
Right.
as there is a saying, early to bed and early to rise makes each one healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, what time I go to bed?
True.
Uh, so, we
Mm-hmm.
try to go to bed by 9 p.m. or 10 at the most, and that will automatically help us to wake up in the morning at a good time, what is called the Brahma Muhurat or the golden hour. And that
Correct.
means if I'm in bed by 9 or 10, I easily be up by 5 or 6 after a restful, relaxed night. The most important thing in today's life is to be restful, to be, and that makes you calm and to be able to, take on the tasks and the responsibilities that the life puts on us. Then, during the early morning hours, that's the time we interact with the nature. See, it's like this whole universe, as we said, is made of energy, but this energy is very intelligent. It knows everything. It's what is called natural intelligence. Today, we are talking of artificial intelligence, but it is nothing but a fraction or a drop of the nature's intelligence, what's called consciousness, what imparts life to me, and how to augment this in me. I must interact with the five elements and the spirit within me, and that is I do certain practices. To be brief, I do my yoga practices. Now, yoga begins with yoga is actually Ashtanga. Today, you read everywhere yoga and meditation. I tell you, anybody who writes like this is a yoga and meditation is cheating you. He doesn't know what is yoga. Yoga and meditation, because one meditation is just one part of yoga. Yoga is Ashtanga. The most important part of yoga is Yama Niyama. That is, to refrain from any evil, any negative thoughts. Human being is somehow designed that it is got a monkey mind. All the time it keeps on getting bombarded by, and like they say, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Maya, Isha, you know. So we should escape ourselves from these. On the contrary, we have a positive mind, we have love, kindness, compassion. We're trying to all the time help others. And also, here I remember those three Mahatma Gandhi ke teen bandar, you know,
Ji.
बुरा मत सुनो, बुरा मत सुनो, बुरा मत बोलो. उसके लिए, like, so we must have an internal control over ourselves, which comes easily, but we have to be aware of it, and it comes by practice. And then there should be a human being is a creation of the nature. So I must follow the laws of the nature. And as we said, early to bed and early to rise. Our ancients have devised our life around the sun, because sun is the source of all life. Somebody says, I don't believe there's a God. I say, okay, but look at the sun. If there is no sun, will there be any life? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Let's give credit to the nature, the sun. And so we do understand. And at the same time, if there is no wind, there is no water, there is no earth, there will be no life. So the whole creation has been split into five elements. And my body is made of the same five elements. So to remain in harmony with the nature of these five elements will keep me in harmony or in peace, in balance, and that
True.
will be that will enable me to bring the best out of me. So that's the concept of yoga. Okay, so the first most two important things are yama and yama. Then, of course, we do pranayama. Pranayama is, as the word says, nourishing my prana. What I am, prana, that life force. And when we breathe, we not only get air or oxygen, as is understood by modern science. Okay, we breathe air and along with it the prana. The evidence, those people who have mastered their prana, they can do without air and oxygen for hours on. And scientists right at the NASA have experimented, put them in vacuum chambers, and these people have been able to maintain their life and control their breath, etc., without being disturbed at all. At the same time, we can live without breath even for 2 minutes. Everybody says, what are the basic needs for a human being? Roti, kapda, and makan. But, my dear friends, nobody talks of the breath. Breath is so important. So, now there are various pranayams. When we do that, we regulate our breathing. This also helps to cleanse our body. As they say, it helps to detoxify. It helps to balance the negative and the positive, the Ida and the Pingla, the sun and the moon factors in us, they get harmonized. We get a body-mind harmony. We get a left brain, right brain harmony. We get a sympathetic, parasympathetic, or the autonomic system harmony. This leads to our harmony of our milieu interior. That means everything starts functioning in a harmonious manner. And so the breath gives us not only air, oxygen, but the most important, the vital prana, the life giving energy. And this also helps develop our breathing system. I said my ventilatory capacity. Today, a very large number of people, doctors tell them they are not able to sleep well because they are suffering from apnea. They are not able to sleep well, they are suffering from apnea, so they take a CPAP machine. Or you start running short of air or oxygen, they say you have got hypoxia and you need a oxygen therapy. And then a time comes when you are not able to breathe, so they give you a ventilator. It's a mechanical. Now they can give you air and oxygen, but they cannot give you the prana. And that is why if air or oxygen was life, nobody will die. Everybody will carry a portable oxygen machine along with them, and they will live forever. But this, the people need to know that breath is the source of prana, the factor of life, and all these benefits. So it will save us in the journey of life from all these problems. And then, of course, the asanas, the various, they also help not only keep our body supple, our mind supple, keeps a body mind coordination, and keeps our uh, body supple and young. And of course, when we are doing this, we are doing this with awareness. That's called meditation. There's a heightened meditation is nothing but heightened awareness. So when I am in this awareness, automatically I don't need to do any, various schools, various brands of meditation have come up all over the world. I don't need to follow all that. So with meditation, I am in my awareness, heightened awareness that I am in a state of yoga, that I am in Karma Yoga. I am in action. I'm a Karma Yogi. That I should be aware that whatever is happening through me is preordained. It's and I am just the instrument, and I enjoy doing my job and feel happy about it. At the same time, try to visualize what is happening around and develop a control over my senses, and that helps me to perform at my best, and that gives me in a state of joy, and not within for myself, but my whole family. So that's a state of bliss, or as it's called the samadhi, or state of Satchita Anand. So that's the purpose of life. It brings out the best in all aspects of life. So that is what will be called holistic living or holistic health, keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise.
That's really, really nice of you to shed so much of light on holistic life, way of life, I must say. And being a life coach, actually, this is what even I coach people and tell them that how they need to not just look externally. It's not how you think that you can present yourself externally. It is what goes on internally in you. That's the wiring. That's how you are wired. What you eat, what you breathe, that's what shows. So yes, that means I've been really living a holistic life, I must say. Sleeping early,
Yes,
hitting bed early,
the
and
next
waking
step,
up early.
yeah, the next step, as we said, because yama is like my thoughts. So there it is very important. Now comes my food. As they say, yatho ahar tatho vichar.
Bilkul,
And
bilkul, absolutely. I was in fact coming to that part.
and that is depends upon my vichar. That is my conduct in the society. That is my credibility and my you know social value. So the food is very important, and it should be very pertinent to request the people to give a fillip to this organic, consumption of organic food, which will give fillip to our farmers also, because today the incidence of cancer is the highest among the farmers, because the poor people trying to produce more are using a lot of chemicals in, and that is polluting their systems, their air, their whole environment, and they are suffering very badly. So it will take care of their health, it will enhance their productivity, and at the same time it will it give the whole nation a better health. So we need to.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, and especially in the times when we have a serious health threat looming on our head, and we are all looking for ways to improve our immunity. And I think by the way you're explaining me the entire holistic way of living, I think if I'm not wrong, it can help boost our immunity as well. Am I
Absolutely.
correct, sir?
My
And
immunity is
how can we improve it?
my immunity is directly proportional to the status of my health. And
True.
when I'm healthy, when I'm happy, when I'm contented, when I'm doing my job well, my immunity, and when I do my job well, I'm appreciated. And in fact, I say whether anybody appreciates or not, don't wait for, appreciate yourself. Give yourself a pat once you are doing a good job, and that keeps you, as they say, happiness comes from within. Happiness cannot come from anything outside, and that can only come by your own self accomplishment. You are your own judge, and that keeps your immune system up. And that is what I have been talking, that in this uh, uh, season of pandemic due to COVID is nothing else but little lower immunity. But don't panic, because the panic is the confusion, it is the fear which is draining out people's immunity, and that is what makes them succumb to the infection. But if their own
True.
immunity, as it is also medically recognized that human health is a trilogy of factors. That means is a balance of three factors. That is the host, the me, myself, my environment, and the agents. Okay. Now, if my health is good, my own immunity is good, that works like an armor. That protects me, that repels all negative energies, all negativity, negative germs from around me. So that is my immunity is like my own armor, my own kavach, my own defense system. And that happening, and I'm able to take care. Then, of course, the agents. You see, the various germs and worms and all the flora and fauna in the nature have been designed to coexist, which is called symbiotic relationship. That is, each one is beneficial to the other. For example, today it is scientifically known that our immunity lives in our gut, and gut has a very high population of various germs which produce our immunity. So it's immunity. These germs give to us immunity, but in the nature, when we disturb this harmony or this coexistence or this symbiotic relationship, that it starts harming us and we start becoming. And at the same time, we have to take care of our environment. We are a product of the environment. If our environment, like I say, this COVID has been a great blessing. People may call it a a pandemic, and there's so much of panic around.
Absolutely.
I said, look, what
Mm.
a great benefit it has brought. Today, our environment is so much better by spending any amount of money. The governments have already been spending lakhs of crores in trying to cleanse the environment. By spending any amount of money, you could not get this weather. No technology in the world could give you this weather. So it's thanks to, we should appreciate its benefits and draw satisfaction from it, boost our morale. That will build up our immunity. That will keep us healthy, and that will keep the virus away.
So rightly said. In fact, I wanted to interrupt you in this part quickly that, maybe you can guide us that how can we spread awareness about it now? Because now is the time when everybody needs to know about it. It's not just rely on the government or the authorities. How can we spread awareness about holistic living?
See, this is, of course, the responsibility, as we use the word sanskaras, what we get from our family, but then also
Correct.
it's very important through the education system of the country. Now, I have been we had this International Yoga Day before yesterday, and I sent a plea to the Prime Minister and all the leaders of the country, as well as the health planners, that this yoga as a lifestyle should be introduced in the educational curriculum, so that the students come to know of its benefits, and they understand the science behind it, and then they automatically start practicing it. So this education, as they say, the healthcare must commence in the womb and goes on till the tomb. So the healthcare services from womb to tomb, and the school education right from the primary to the university and the doctoral level, this must be, people must be educated about it. It should be a part of the curriculum, and it will definitely enhance even their academic performances. So the the educationists of the country, the human resource development, every company, every factory, every institution must look after. That is the more responsibility of the human resource people, that they take care of the health of the people, that enhances their productivity. And then, of course, the healthcare system, it must The yoga, the science of yoga, the art of yoga must be introduced into all the systems of medicine. Even in the Ayush
True.
system, there is no yoga taught in the Ayurvedic school or in the Unani Siddha or homeopathy. Of course, certainly not in medical colleges. So, yoga is a way of life, and yoga should be introduced, and yoga should be practiced at every level of health. And only yoga practice of a yogic way of life or healthy way of life, we said, can give us healthy life. Otherwise, a healthy lifestyle. But if this lifestyle is not healthy, nobody can be healthy. And as you said, all diseases today are attributed to lifestyle disorders. So I am
So
responsible.
rightly said. Hmm.
Yes, so I should take my responsibility. At the same time, the state, which is responsible for providing the education and the healthcare system and the human resource development, they must prepare a platform and guide the people in the right direction. It is their responsibility. Unfortunately, they only try to set up big hospitals, and everybody is counting the number of beds and the ventilators, and nobody is talking of how the health of the people can be enhanced.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you that instead of going in and focusing on the problem, on the issue that we are facing right now, if we focus more on the solution, and as rightly said, that more we sweat in peace, less we bleed in war. So it
Great.
is time for all of us, especially coming it from our own sanskaras, not just as a life coach, but even before starting my program, Meri Azadi, I think I took this inspiration from my own mother, who taught us this holistic way of life. And this should be part of, at least in India, although this is for the entire Asia, but let's talk about only India, that this has been a part of our own culture. ये हमारे आचार विचार हमारे संस्कारों का एक हिस्सा रहे हैं कि yoga
Absolutely.
is not just about exercising. Again, as you said, it's the prana. It is not about roti kapda makan, but it is about your breathing, and breathing is not just about the air. It's about your vital pran, your holistic health, your life. Actually, it's not just the lifestyle, it is the entire life.
And the,
It is the way of life.
yama and the yama and the, it begins with yama and the niyama and
Absolutely,
ahar
absolutely.
to
Now,
vichar.
ji, ji, absolutely, absolutely. I'm completely in agreement with you. So I can see that now that our viewers are definitely getting a pathway that how they can move ahead from this sedent, I say, the lifestyle, what they are leading, and move towards holistic way of life. I would like to know what led you to be a unique physician of holistic medicine.
Well,
Let's move towards the
that's right.
now let's move towards the treatment part. Now that we have learned about the living in holistic manner, how can you shed the light, if you can tell me what has been your journey, what led you to move towards the holistic healing?
It is certainly a very interesting and a very valuable question. And yes, you know, I wish to be a model. You know, when I was young, nobody picked me for my modeling, but I thought,
I will interrupt
okay,
you, I will interrupt you on this. You are still very young, sir.
yes, that's what. So I
It
wish
is the
that I
health,
would be
yes.
picked up. I would be picked up as a model when I'm in my 80s and my 90s. You know, it's uh, see, so basically, like I say, to a very large extent, I must be grateful for my genes and the sanskaras that I picked up from my family. And you know, not only I've been a physician, I've been a Fauji at the core, and that is why I like your statement. This is what we were taught. When you sweat in peace, you save your blood in
Bleed
war.
less,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So that's why I like these words and wanted to repeat them. So it's all because of, and then these sanskaras. Then of course, you see, I went into a medical college. I'm very, I would say the seeds were sown there because when I entered my medical college, the address by our dean, I recall 56 years ago, that he says, young man, you have come here to become doctors, and this Armed Forces Medical College believes in producing you as an all rounder friend, philosopher, and guide for the society. And
Wow.
he said, you are going to be officers. That means officer means who leads from the front. An officer means who has to all the time imagine the situation that may be coming up. He has to innovate, he has to improvise and implement. So,
That,
and,
sorry. Yes, yes.
and implement and keep on improving all the time. See,
Absolutely.
so this
So
was
correctly said.
this was the lecture of our introductory lecture to our by our dean. I do not know any of my peers got those words, but I remember them, and they have shaped my life. 56 years later, I can say that. Maybe it is also because of, I already said, because of my genes and my sanskaras, that I grabbed these words. Then, as we went along, our teachers, who took a lot of pains to make us practice what is called conservative medicine. Conservative medicine is nothing but like uh, trying to correct the lifestyle of the person. For example, if somebody has got a diabetes or a hypertension, okay,
Mhm.
my then I'll tell you later. Then it's that I have, if I restore my life, for example, if I'm overweight and I've got diabetes, okay, I correct my weight, and the 90% chances are my diabetes will disappear and my health will improve. And if I maintain that, I will enjoy that health all my life. And later, you see, my professional career, I joined the Army Medical Corps, and I was seconded to the Indian Air Force. In the Air Force, we do our postgraduate training in aviation medicine, and I'm posted to a fighter squadron. In fact, it was a Canberra squadron. It was a deep strike bomber aircraft squadron, which in the 1971 Bangladesh war, uh, these bomber aircrafts were doing the humans or the most important job to annihilate the enemy, that they would fly right into Peshawar, Karachi, Rawalpindi, Chittagong, or Dhaka, and damage animal, the enemy installations, etc. So I had the privilege to look after these pilots, and our job was to, while the engineers kept the machines rolling, our job as doctors was to see our pilots are fit for each mission. You know how difficult a mission could be, to flying as far back as into the enemy territory, into Peshawar, and bringing yourself back, and then being ready for the next mission. So this was our
That's
job,
why.
to make
Yes,
sure
yes.
that this could not be achieved by any drug, because if I gave him any medicine, then that fellow could not fly for next few days. Similarly, later,
Absolutely.
I will always a
That's
passionate
why I was saying. That's why I was saying that we need an entire episode just to get your introduction. So uh
second part.
you've
Second,
walked the path of life in absolutely and so many different avatars that there is a lot to explore with you. So,
please, for
but
the second,
if I can, yes,
please,
please,
please permit me. I have not completed.
yes,
Okay.
please, yes,
Second,
please.
my passion for sportsman, I did a postgraduate diploma in sports medicine from National Institute of Sports, and I was appointed the medical advisor to Air Force Sports Control Board. Again, the
Mhm.
job there was to bring out the best in sportsmen. Well, if I give him any drug to him, I will dope him. I will ruin his career. So again, to bring out the best in a human being, it cannot be without drugs. And third thing, even more important, doing my MD medicine at Delhi's Army Hospital Research and Referral, my thesis proved that reversal of the so-called risk factors restores the coronary artery disease, that is what is called the heart disease, and makes a person fit and healthy once again. So these
Right.
steps of my life, which made me, and I took a conscious decision that I will not become a cardiologist, because by becoming a cardiologist, I have to follow the laid down protocols. I have to practice the so-called evidence-based medicine based upon medicines. The more and more medicines I give to my patients, I dig their grave. This is my personal opinion. So a person's heart can be healthy only if he doesn't need any medicine. So all this, and that's what, and then this also made me, having gone through a good quality of medical education and practice for over nearly first 15 years of my life, it made me aware the deficiencies of modern system of medicine and how to overcome them. That's where I found my call in the various drug-free modalities of system. And today we practice a combination of all of these, and that's what helps us definitely do much better than the best of any medical practice, any medical hospital in the world can do. Because the power of healing lies within the individual, and we have to understand, appreciate, and learn how to evoke that.
So, sir, if you can briefly tell us quickly what is, if I have to define that, what is holistic medicine? Why we should take holistic medicine? What are the benefits? What
See,
can we derive out of it?
first we must know very pertinent why holistic medicine, because
Ji.
the whole world is today is getting or has got dependent on so-called the modern system or the allopathic system of medicine. And my growth through the best of practices of modern medicine have revealed, or our teachers always used to teach us, that you must know your strengths, but you must be aware of your weaknesses. So it has taught me what are the strengths of modern medicine. I know modern medicine is inevitable in acute life-saving care or in trauma, etc. But unfortunately, modern medicine does not cure any disease. I'm using the word, it does not cure any disease. It only gives you a palliative relief. It's a false relief. For instance, I have been little anxiety. I have a little heaviness of the head, and I walk into my doctor and say, Doctor, I'm not well. I got a heaviness in my head. Please take my blood pressure. And doctor checks your blood pressure is bound to be high. Now the doctor here says, oh, your blood pressure is high. Here's the medicine, and you have to take it all your life. That's where the murder starts. My blood pressure may come, but I never had actually hypertension. To describe to somebody that you got hypertension, we were taught that 3 days of basal blood pressure reading, unless that shows a raise in blood pressure, you cannot label anybody high. But I tell you, Shweta, nobody in the world, no doctor in the world practices this medicine today. And I'm proud my teachers taught me, and I've saved. Uh, no cardiologist would have cured a blood pressure, but I cured those blood pressures that cardiology and their drugs have failed to do. And this is only by making the person that to be make them relax, make them calm, and the blood pressure automatically starts coming down. And over the years, I mean, nearly every patient, I would say every 100%, but yes, 90% people who have been on medication for over 2 decades or 3 decades, and their blood pressure doesn't get as well controlled, that can by regulating my own life force, and that goes for all the diseases. So this is the reason why holistic medicine, because modern medicine does not cure any disease. In the last 3 decades, or last 4 decades, when we have the best possible medical services, we have the world's top class, not only in India, top class best hospitals in India and all over the world. And but the incidence of all common diseases has increased by threefold. If at all modern medicine helps, say modern medicine is known for, because they say the antibiotics control the infection quick. But if my immune system is not robust, no antibiotic will work. If we have no antibiotic for corona, only my immune system can save me from corona. You know, today 95% people who are positive with corona will recover on their own, and the 2 to 3% people with little support will ultimately recover on their own. What Who will take care of this corona is our own immune system. Fortunately, there is no medicine in
Absolutely.
the Fortunately, there is no medicine taking, credit for it. And some 2% people, unfortunately, because they have got other complications, because they say they have got comorbidities, because by having received medicines for a long time, their systems have become hollow, their immune system have become weak, and when they are uh, attacked by this virus, they are not able to cope up because their immune system is weak. And that is the result of comorbidities of having taken the drugs over a long time. So, this is why we need to look and think beyond modern medicine. Now,
True.
having said that, we have also already discussed that how we can enhance our immunity. And I tell you, when I was doing my post graduation at Army Hospital, we had a research project on acupuncture, and it showed that people suffering from bronchial asthma and chronic backaches, we suffer. A large percentage of people in the society suffer from these diseases, and they never get cured. They only get worse uh, over the period, in spite of the best of the medical efforts. And we saw that most of the people who are subjected to acupuncture recovered from these diseases. So I made my mission that I must learn this technique as a additional armamentarium to a budding physician. And my professor said, "Look, you are young, you are a physician, and you learn acupuncture," because he was old, he was already at the verge of retirement. And he said, "This will prosper in your hand." I made it a mission. I made several sorties, spent a lot of time in China to acquire expertise in this. And lo and behold, this acupuncture is very much a part of our Ayurvedic system as a Vedan Kriya, which the Chinese acquired from us. Their royalty patronized it and developed it to a state today that it is known as Chinese system. Now, acupuncture is nothing but accelerated yoga. It is nothing but therapeutic yoga. Yoga is a way of life. But when things go out of control, that's where the same philosophy, they call it the Ida Pingla, they call it the yin and the yang. The net result is the same, restoring the homeostasis, the internal milieu interior, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, the left brain and the right brain, the body and the mind. So this restores, you would believe my words, even faster than many parenteral injections in emergency situations. So it's a very good complement to help people who are suffering from even an acute medical condition where there does not appear to be any positive chances coming. You complement this and the patient start doing very well. And of course, in the meantime, as I became aware of the life force, the prana, so we went through these healing modalities like reiki and pranic healing, chakra balancing, and that sort of things, you know and then of course the role of the mind. They say counseling, psychoanalysis, but I came to a conclusion, when person has a hardcore disease, कहते हैं ना, लातों के भूत बातों से मानते नहीं. So psychological counseling does not go away, but there the system of hypnotherapy works wonderful. It really works like you know bhutton ko lat. It
जी
works.
जी जी बिल्कुल.
It works infinitely better, faster, quicker, more reliable. So when we combine all of
Absolutely.
these, see now, as all these things I've enumerated, I'm not using any medication. I'm only helping the person's own healing system to get activated.
So are
Even
you saying that this is a drugless treatment?
absolutely, that's why I said there is no drugs used here. Drugs,
So then,
I'm
but
helping.
then why, then isn't it wrong to call it an alternative medicine? Because how does this holistic treatment then complements the conventional treatment?
One is, of course, in our humility, I may say, okay, we call it complementary alternate medicine because the whole world has given it the nomenclature. Now, it is okay because somehow, whatever, rightly or wrongly, modern medicine has come to stay. It meets the 90% requirement of the people all over the world, including our country. So we say, okay, what you are doing, let us complement that. Okay. Now, alternate medicines can be many, but we say is holistic because we are making a complete harmony, a judicious harmony of all the drug free modalities of the recognized systems of medicine. Okay,
So
all these systems.
is this
Yoga,
medicine evidence based?
see, now this is where, now let me first complete what is so what is alternate. Now, as far as the patient is concerned, there is nothing alternate. When a patient comes to a doctor, the patient wants to get well.
Correct.
Patient wants to get well as quickly as possible. Patient wants to get well with as less medicine as possible. Okay, but the
True.
doctors do not give them a chance. The medical practice does not give them a
The
chance.
regular, the
Yeah,
contempt, I would say the
yeah,
regular medicine. Yes,
because,
I completely agree.
because the modern medicine is called allopathy. You know what is the meaning of the word allo? Pathy means, of course, treatment. Allo
Yeah,
means to source from outside in the form of medicines or any interventions. So all the time is looking from, and you go to a doctor, doctor must give you a medicine. But the
absolutely.
problem may be because you have disturbed your lifestyle. Alternate today, as we said in the beginning, that okay, if there is a God or not, but we accept if there is no sun, there will be no life. So we accept sun is the God. But today, the solar energy is called alternate source of energy. Will there be, and our main source of energy comes from the hydrocarbons, the fossil fuels. Will there be any hydrocarbon or fossil fuel if there was no sun?
I was actually, when you were telling me this thing, I was thinking about the same thing. How will it exist without the sun? That's the primary source, not the alternative one.
Correct, correct. That is where. So the life comes from nature. Life comes from the five elements, and it is a curse of modern science that we consider the main source of life. Life means health as the alternate sources of energy. And as far as the patient is concerned, there's nothing alternative. Patient wants to be well as quickly and with as less an interference as possible. And that is what this holistic medicine complements to you. Patients come to us when they have been in very chronic diseases, suffering for a long time in a very late stage. And at that time, we complement. Complement because they've been on medical treatment, maybe for four different diseases, for six different organ systems, maybe taking 25 or 30 pills a day. They are uh, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, had said, "Let thy food be thy medicine." But today, patient said, "इतनी दवाई खा लेते हैं अब खाना कैसे खाएं?" The medicine has become
Bilkul. In fact, while you are telling me this, I'm thinking of one of the person, whom I'm coaching. Uh, in fact, one of them is actually taking almost 27 pills a day. And I keep on telling her that it is more in your mind. First of all, you are creating that system, as a life coach. Again, even I work more from the internal part, that you have to fix your internal wiring.
correct.
I say Meri Azadi is not like that you get Azadi in one go for your financial freedom, that I know I can go and run my business, or achieve bigger heights at my workplace. You have to first fix your emotions. You have to get freedom from
Shama,
your ailments.
Yama,
एकदम
Niyama,
एकदम अपने एकदम यम अपना
exercise,
ठीक करें आप।
yoga.
जी,
Yes.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। सो योगा आप
So
करें तो दिस
when
एक्चुअली
we
इट वर्क्स इंटरनली। तो मैं वही कहती हूँ, मैं कहा जी मेरी आजादी वहीं से आएगी। सबसे पहले अपनी आजादी जो है, यू ब्रिंग इट टू योर सेल्फ,
yes,
टू योर माइंड,
I have
देन टू योर
I have
बॉडी,
to
एंड देन
I
इट
have to take
रिफ्लेक्ट्स।
I have to take responsibility of my health, and I have to go for
एब्सोल्युटली।
the, and I will, they say, you have to choose the right line of treatment for yourself. And we don't, like we say, at a patient who's already in a very complicated or an advanced stage of sickness, we complement the medical management. Now, a person who has been taking a particular medicine for 30 years or 20 years, his system is also got quite used to and dependent on it.
Used to।
I cannot withdraw it immediately. So we say complement ongoing management. That is, as you are being treated, continue that. Now, we will now, so far you have been on a allo support. Now we will bring you on an auto revival. So as that starts happening within a few days, as the pain starts going down, as the sugar starts going down, as the blood pressure starts going down, the doctor, the primary care physician or the specialist, they themselves start reducing the dosage of the patient, or the patient will take the initiative herself. And so gradually, when this auto correction or the regulation of the internal milieu starts, the person's need for medication stops. And I am making this very conscious statement that people who have suffered for a disease for that many years, they start getting well within that many weeks. And
Wow,
there's no disease which is not curable. I uh, make this thumping statement.
declaration।
It will, yes, it may not go well with my peers, but they have to rise above. They have to appreciate that when the health of the patient is continuously going down with best of their care, they must become uh, more kind and aware and complement this care to the patient, because ultimately we all became doctors to take care of the patient and what is best for the patient, and help them, guide them, tell them to take their medicine. Now I'll come to your question. You said evidence based. See, evidence is number one. Evidence is physical. Human being is a spiritual. We already said right in the beginning that I'm a spiritual being, but on a physical journey. What you see of me is my body, is my physical. And all this evidence which is created, I won't say how much of this evidence is manipulated. There is a saying that evidence, it reveals a lot, but because this evidence is statistics based, and statistics
Hmm.
have been compared to a mini skirt, which they say it conceals a lot, but it hides the vitals. So
Mhm.
evidence based, the golden standards of practice of modern medicine have fallen on dust. How many times in my lifespan? So these
In fact,
evidences
I
are all temporary, they don't last long, and best of the medical practices, the gold standards of medical practice, if they have fallen to dust in the past, what is the surety that the standards or the protocols of today will not be reduced? So whereas these practices have survived thousands of years, today's medicines don't even survive 10 years. The protocols, the evidence-based protocols don't even survive 10 years or 20 years. These things have served the humanity over thousands of years, and people swear by it. But why do we have no right to divert people from their faith? Faith is the most important thing in life. Faith leads to hope,
that is
and
true.
that itself is a very important ingredient to my health, my happiness, and my recovery from sickness. So,
Absolutely. I am in agreement to that. In fact, I want to add on something to this, that
Mhm.
Ministry of Ayush had come in existence in 2014, but not much has been done. Or I would say not much has been achieved in last six
That,
years.
that is
Now
what
that we're
I
running
have been.
short in time, but still, I would want your quick views on
That's
this.
what I've been tapping on the doors of the ministries of health and Ayush. See, it's a pity that Ministry of Health considered itself its own domain. They have their own egos. And in the Ministry of Ayush, now Ayurveda, yoga and naturopathy, even yoga and naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, they all got their separate departments, directorates, and each one wants
Mm.
to, hold on to his fiefdom. You would be surprised that yoga and naturopathy have got separate institutes of National Institutes of Yoga and National Institute of Naturopathy. That means they
Right.
are working independently and separately, autonomously. At the same time, Ayurveda is different than Siddha, okay, or the Unani, and
Absolutely.
the same is the homeopathy. There is no, it's only somebody, it used to be called a Ministry of Alternative Medicines, or, but somebody gave a beautiful name that everything is imbibed in this word Ayush, which has brought these five departments under.
Elements together.
But unfortunately, people do not know the know how, they do not have the willingness, all are working in their own egos, in their own tribes, trying to protect their own fiefdoms, and there is no harmony. And yoga means harmony, oneness within me and with all. That is what we need
So
to.
true. So true, sir.
That's all,
Now, if
all
you
the failure
can,
of.
could one of the reasons for that.
Yeah,
Now that you have the distinction of treating countless patients, and it includes one of our president, prime ministers, governors, a lot of dignitaries. The list is very long again. But
yes,
if and you have saved them from most complex ailments, I must say.
definitely.
What is
Definitely.
your message for our viewers? How can they benefit?
See, we have to rise above this conditioning. We have to at least realize, look, I've been taking, I've been going to the best doctor, I've been taking the best medicines, I've been trying to control my blood sugar, yet I have developed now end organ damage. I've developed peripheral neuropathy, my kidneys are getting damaged, my eyes are getting damaged, I got a heart attack, I got a stroke in the meantime, and quality of my life has ever since been just going down. So should, at least at that stage, shouldn't my bells ring? And same goes for all diseases. So there needs to be a public awareness. And I may tell you today, people in their drawing rooms talk a lot about this. But when the need comes, they all rush to the hospitals. They all rush to the emergency of the hospital, and they forget their all this social knowledge, implementing it. And like I said, I am also got a very sore ache in my heart. I should not be emotional about it as a professional, but I can't help it as a human being that all these great people who come to me take their treatments and forget about it. None of them have,
Hmm.
including the serving health ministers of the country, the health secretaries of the country, who have come and benefited, but they all go, they are so individualistic that they do not go back and get it implemented for the benefit of humanity at all, at large. They all are tied down to the protocols, to the black world, and not ready to look beyond. That is my
Take on this. Hmm.
dilemma. I don't know why
Thank you.
they don't
Hmm.
want the improvement
Hmm.
and all this. You see now all these things which I have all this a harmony of the drug-free modalities of the various systems. I also want to share with you the evidence-based aspect that They are highly predictable. Okay, they are
Okay.
absolutely reproducible. The same thing happens all the time, and it is sustainable. The benefits survive forever, and because it does not require any high technology, high expenses, so thereby it also becomes very cost beneficial. We don't need to create institutes of excellence. All that we need is our existing healthcare uh, resource in the country. If we just need to upgrade their skills. This is Skill India, our Prime Minister's program of Skill India to raise the skills of the healthcare workers. And I can tell you, right at the village level, the ASHA workers, the primary healthcare center, there itself, most of the diseases can be cured. And if we strengthen our primary healthcare services, our load on the secondary or the tertiary, the expensive hospital care, where only the suffering becomes more and goes beyond the capacity of the people, that will get mitigated. People will be happy at their nearest center at the earliest stage of their health. But we need a mission, we need a passion to go all out to create our national health services, reinforcing the primary health. Atmanirbhar, make our primary health services Atmanirbhar. Teach the people how to be Atmanirbhar to take care of your own health. You're not Atmanirbhar by going and taking shelter in the under any medication. So we must develop our own Atmanirbharta, Skill India, and
जी जी.
think and they say act locally and think globally. If I am happy, the whole world will be happy.
So rightly said.
So
Act locally. And think globally. Very, very aptly said, sir. And to sum it up, I must say, you have not just enlightened us with the knowledge about holistic lifestyle, but also given us a greater light on holistic medicine, which is still an unexplored arena for a lot of people. So I'm sure our viewers have benefited a lot with this conversation, and wherein I'm sure our viewers will agree to this, that it is not just the external part, that we need to go more internal. Even as a life coach, I again imbibe his word and say the same thing. I echo it in a complete agreement that everything is within us. So what we need to do is, अगर हम अपने संस्कारों में जाएं, अपने आचार विचार में जाएं, or let's take it more in a scientific manner also, that we really need to, now corona has taught all of us that we need to go internal, be it staying inside the house, going indoor. Also it is about going in our mind, taking care of our health, which is again internal, not just on the physical part, but also on the mental, on our energy part, on your as they say, complete, again holistic, that your mind, your body, your energy has to be in sync. It's not just the breathing, but you have to remember the lessons that you have learned from your own Sanskriti, and not just expect a government or authority to take charge of your health, of your life. After all, this is your life. सो आत्मनिर्भर बने, और आत्मनिर्भरता का एक और आज नया आयाम डॉक्टर तुली ने हमें दिया है, कि सिर्फ आत्मनिर्भरता जो है वो काम के लिए ही नहीं है, अपने आप के लिए लेना है। पहले स्वयं की जिम्मेदारी लें, स्वयं को स्वीकारें, स्वयं को आगे लेकर आगे बढ़ें, अपने माइंड, अपनी बॉडी को, अपनी तन्मयता को, और योग में आए, नॉट जस्ट आसना में, बट योग में आए। Thank you very much, Dr. Tuli, for giving us your precious time.
I will
You were.
wind up with the last word that
Please, sir.
this holistic medicine is an optimum synergy of the drug-free modalities of the various recognized systems of medicine. I will say the time-honored wisdom of the various drug-free modalities of the officially recognized systems of health with the evidence-based science of modern medicine to bring out the best in the human being and especially to cure the conventionally incurable diseases. And I also thank the listeners and to you with folded hands with a Vedic prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya. May no one suffer in any way. You may all be happy and suffer from no disease or sickness. And if anything happens, if anything goes out of control, here we are to take care of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Tulia. I think beautifully